I'm from Africa. Praise the Lord. I went 2 times to join Indian Army, but they did not take me. So now I know why they did not take me. So, did you get the job? If I explain that joke, I'm not trying to explain. So I'm a visiting missionary from Malawi. I'll be going again in December first week. And before that we got one more trip to India after next week. So before I say anything, I just have got a small video of 6 minutes. Usually we show some pictures, and know this is a little bit different because there's a brother who came from Dallas. So he came with a drone, and villagers seeing the drone first time, they started chasing him. Then one of our brothers went after him because they can do maybe some harm or something. It's a village, and they used to call him Pilot. That means pilot. So we are going to see that video and just enjoy that. It's a 6-minute video. Hope it will work. If you can adjust the light, maybe we'll have a better vision.
Very quiet.
Oh, that's the sound, bro. was about to say that. Just to give a clap to that gentleman who took this. So this is where we stay, and this is where we do the mission. And he could only bring few things just within few days. But I just thought, this is in a different angle. Every time we show different pictures and other things. And this is just a glimpse of what the Lord is doing in the land of Malawi. And we don't have much time. Actually, it's already 11:50. So I don't have any time to say anything about the mission. But I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for the support. And thank you for those who have helped our children when we were away. They know who they are. And so many things to say, but if I try, so every time we ask you to pray for us. And many people have asked when we talk about the witchcraft, many people have asked this question, do they really confront you? But we always said no. They are friendly, but they don't come close to us. But we are staying in the middle of this witchcraft villages. But this time, the story was different, but I don't have time to say the story. But they wanted to harm us physically, just right in front of our gate, main gate. But God did not allow that. He was a drunk man coming with all the mask and with all this dirty clothes and dirt on his body. And we were not scared. And this is always there. That is why we say that keep on praying. Keep on praying. We are in a very, very devilish village. And we know that you are praying for us. So many other people are praying for us. God protects us. Let me just say within 2 minutes the highlights of this trip. There are so many things to praise God. One more new assembly has come. And that is the 13th one in Malawi. And we went to visit that place, but we couldn't make it with those two four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive cars. And Joel said, Dad, I want to try this manual one. And he was driving a very old car, older than Julia. And no AC, nothing. And all over it is dust. And it's like a bomb explosion all over. I knew that this kid is going to be affected. The next day he was living. He got affected and he got infected, his chest. And this is a story. We went there, we couldn't reach. We are just driving, climbing hills after hills. And I'm just following him. And in both cars, our brothers are there. And when we went to a certain, place, we couldn't go any further. He's going front and he's almost gone down. So when I go on top, I sense the danger, there are so many hills and mountains. But are we really going to make it back? It's so difficult. So I just stopped, I just went a little bit. Somehow I managed to come back. And Joel by the time already almost gone down. But the problem is not going down, but coming back. And we are not reaching anywhere. Anyway, now he cannot come back, he has to go down and make a turn. And I told our brothers, no, we are not going to make it to that village mountain. And they are seeing us on the other side, one of the mountain. Oh, you are seeing your car. Okay, of course they can see us because with 2 cars and these many people. And of course they have the mobile phones, okay? They don't have anything, they are calling us, they are seeing us from the other side of the mountain. We didn't go, and somehow we came back. And it is after one hour journey, more than 1 hour journey. So there was a school nearby. So we went in and asked the principal permission to share the gospel to the kids. And they were more than willing. You know how many kids sat under the tree? About 200, 250 kids. We shared the gospel, we sang song, kids were so happy. They were waiting for the candy and we gave them. It took almost half an hour. By the time the other brothers of the mountain, they climbed down and they came to us. We had some 10 minutes with them, and that was one of the highlights. And another highlight, I turned 15, not 50, May 25th, when I was in Malawi. And we were so happy that our children also were with us. I wanted to celebrate in Malawi because that's a place I love, Malawi and the people. we had a celebration and the visitors, they provided, the meal, and we provided a big meal to our feast to our brothers and sisters. We thank God for that, but they gave us the most important parts. Because this is your day, so you enjoy it. And that was another thing. And 18 visitors came this time. And other than 4 of us, there are how many? 14 now. This was the longest time we stayed in Malawi. And this was the longest, more visitors have come this time. Sometimes it was a little difficult, they were challenging, and initially there were so many challenges. We just demolished all our roof and we had to change it completely until the time Joyce was coming, because everything was eaten by the termites, and it was a difficult task, but we did it by the help of God. But by the time I was almost gone. Anyway, thank God I'm standing here in front of you. But we hope that we solved that problem, because we took everything that is timber and we put everything in the place of timber, we put iron. And hopefully it will work, right? Yeah, so there may not be, you may not be hearing anything about the termites. And another thing you prayed for, still praying, halfway done the borewell. In Africa there's a saying, no hurry, no worry. Or other way, no worry, no hurry. We pray here, they have no worry. I keep on telling them what's happening and you do it. I'm responsible, I'm accountable. They did halfway. You know what is happening? Devil is not happy. People getting the water. This is right in front of that devilish village. There's a graveyard. That is where they do all these kinds of ceremonies and rituals. This is right in front of that. Devil is delaying giving us water, because when people get water, their eyes are opening and they start knowing the thing. We share the gospel. So keep praying. It can happen, because 2 times their machine was broken. Okay? They take it back to Lilongwe. It's only 10 miles. 3 big lorries. It's a big thing. They have to come and do the things. Almost we hit the bottom. We are at the water basin. But we need plenty of water, so they are waiting. So please pray for that. And there are so many things to say. But I don't have time to say that. You will have to go without the word this morning if I dare to say many of the things that have happened. And it is set for December trip. We are going for 45 days. And again in June, July for 2 months. And people have already booked for these 2 trips. From our church, we are happy that Jijo and Matthew coming for the December trip in January. And for the June, 2 people are planning to come from here, but I don't want to tell their name. But I told him, if you are not coming this time, somebody else is going to break your record. He came 6 times. And another one from Dallas, he came 5 times. So so if you don't want your record to be broken, it is better you come this time. So you know who they are. So just keep praying. And one more thing, we started a small shop. That is one of the ways we are supporting our brothers. Just right in front of the mission compound, our main brother and sister. And the day we left, before that we built it, we inaugurated. I prayed. Joyce was the first seller. So I told them, if you are not selling good, you blame this lady. But thank God, we are getting the good reports that they are selling in a very good way. And they are getting some money. And God willing, we are going to do it in every place. That gives them self-support. And there are so many things we are trying to do. Some things fail and some things successful. Giving water is successful. Opening the shop is successful. Farming is successful. And many things might fail, but just like Thomas Alva Edison, you keep trying 999 times. One day you will be successful. And never give up, right? With God. So these are some of the things. And also we want you to pray for our parents. And they were in an assisted living for 4.5 years. So a few months before, they are brought home into our house in Kerala to look after them. My brother and family looking after them. Both of them are sick. My mother is almost bedridden. With the help, she can get into a wheelchair. My father's movement is limited within the house. So there is somebody who is 24 hours, but they need extra assistance. And that is why we are going. And we may have to go once or twice a year. So we need your prayers. So we are not going for vacation to India. We are going to take care of my parents who is 86 and 85. So please continue to pray for them. So some of these travels we cannot avoid. So while we are away, there are certain brothers and sisters who are very vehemently taking care of our kids. They are older now, they can manage by themselves, but kids are kids all the time, right? Parents do not. But they are taking time, and yeah, you know what I mean. So it's important. For us, kids also are important. And they came to Africa, they want to continue to come back and be part of the ministry. That's what we've been praying. That's important. What we are doing, our children also is doing, that's important. And we need your prayers. With Winston Churchill, he was a prime minister, I believe, during the Second World War. And he said, I can do things. He went further and said, I alone can do things. And he went to the extreme and said, I alone can do things, nobody else can do things. How does that sound? It's not very positive, right? But on the other hand, a person said like this, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Amen. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It doesn't say that I can do majority of the things. It doesn't say that I can do many of the things. And it doesn't say that I can do most of the things. But it simply says that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That happened to be my favorite verse in the Bible. Is this favorite to anybody? Thank you, Dan. There's a story behind that. You ask Dan after this. He shared that during the Bible study hour. Because I had to say my subject. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And Philippians is written in AD 62 while he was in chains, in prison, maybe house arrest. And 2 Corinthians is written in AD 55. See, Paul is saying this in continuation and connection with another big statement from the Lord. You know that my grace is sufficient for thee, my strength is made perfect in weakness.
Amen.
Is there a relation between weakness and strength? And according to the English grammar, what are they? You tell me. Opposite. Is there any relation? No. And according to the spiritual grammar, is there any relation? Yes, right? You talk, please. Everybody is looking like me. You can talk. Is there any relation, spiritual relation between weakness and strength? Bible says that, Paul says that, God says that. Yes.
Yes.
My strength is made perfect in weakness.
Amen.
That's the beauty of this. There is a 7-year gap between these two verses. Paul asked or requested for something. We don't know what it is, okay? He had an infirmity. We don't know what that infirmity was. He requested how many times?
3 times.
3 times. What did God say?
My grace is sufficient.
He said no, right? And then added something. My grace is sufficient for thee. Paul was a wonderful learner. We learned so many things about a kingdom husband. If kingdom husband is, okay, after reading all those things, I feel very guilty, you know. So I'm a hopeless husband. So I told that don't depend 100% on these notes and everything, that will make us very guilty. Depend on the Bible, okay? I'm not against depending on some notes, but we need to have a balance. Opening the doors for the wife, and my wife doesn't like that. But if your wife says that, honey, please open the door for me, you should, okay? Otherwise it's going to cause big problem. Anyway, this is my point. Paul was a big learner. In order to be a kingdom husband, in order to be a kingdom wife, in order to be anything, we must be good learners. Paul was a very big learner. He was learning things each and every day. He was learning things by month. He was learning things years by years. That is why there is a 7-year gap between these two verses. And he is declaring, request has become a declaration. And he is saying that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This is against the worldview. You don't need the muscle power to do so many things. You don't need the muscle power. And God uses weak people because grace is filled where weakness is. Grace is filled where weakness is. Those people who experience, they know that. People who are undeserved, people who are unfit, people who are uneducated, people who are unqualified, they are more qualified to be used by God. You see it down through the centuries. You see it down through the Old Testament, and you see it all through the New Testament and Christian history. That is why I asked Gladys to sing this song. This is one of the songs. What is that? You are my strength, and I am weak. And you are the treasure that I seek. You are my all in all. It will be foolish to give. That's the word says that. It is in that song, right? It will be foolish to give him up. Give up Jesus. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that's the saying that God doesn't qualify. God doesn't call the qualified, but He qualifies the called. When Paul made this statement, he is not in a position to help himself. He is under house arrest and he needs help. He is physically weak. He is under radar and his movements are restricted. He is in jail. In spite of all these challenges and difficulties and circumstances, he is saying, he is encouraging the Philippian believers to be strong in the Lord. He is encouraging the Philippian believers to be joyous in the Lord. That's my message, how to be strong in the Lord. I have only 3 points, not 10 points. And so, please bear with me, So just maybe a few minutes. In fact, they are concerned about his well-being. For 2 years, they don't know anything about Paul. They were sending gift. That is why they sent Epaphroditus. It's a very difficult to pronounce that name, so I am very careful. So, with a gift, he is sending a letter back that happened to be the Philippian letter. There is no word sin in this letter. Excuse me. There is no negative thing in this letter. 19 times the word joy or rejoice is used. So Paul is saying that encouraging the Philippian believers to be happy in spite of your circumstances. What about us? When things are okay, we are happy. When we get a good job, that's good, we are happy. When we buy a nice house, we are happy, that's good. In spite of our situations, circumstances, we must be happy. Nero cannot take his joy. Nero can only put him in prison. Nero can take his privileges out, but not his joy. He can put him in chains, but not the gospel. He can put an end to his life, but not for the gospel. You know what happened? Paul died in AD 68, June. Within few days of Paul's death, execution, Nero, a young 30-year-old man, he committed suicide. Do you think that after putting somebody into death, a God servant, you are going to rest peacefully? No. What happened to her? And what happened to others? There are many people who have given their life on duty. And that is what, when I read about that, I was so surprised. Nero, a young man, he committed suicide within few days of executing great man, Apostle Paul. Paul willingly gave himself to the Lord. And he said, for me to live is Christ and to die is gain. And some people think that making money is the end game. Let me ask you, if that is the end game, why so many celebrities are committing suicide? Amen. Why so many millionaires and billionaires are ending their life very soon? Money is good if God gives, enjoy it, use it for God's glory. They are all good if God allows them. But that's not the basis of our happiness. And the circumstances outside, that's not the basis of our happiness. I just want to say 3 things. How can we be strong in the Lord? We can be strong by less worrying. Worrying is a universal problem. It is not just an American problem. It is not just an African problem. In Africa, there's no hurry, nobody. It's not just an Indian problem. It is not just a South Korean problem. It is a universal problem. That is why 4, verse 9 says, be anxious for nothing. But in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, your request be made known to Christ. So the peace of God that passes all understanding will guard your hearts and mind. What is a prayer with thanksgiving? We pray, we supplicate, we bring lot of supplications, we bring lot of requests. But Paul is saying one special thing. Prayer with thanksgiving. What is that? Even when the results are, we want a positive result, right? When we pray, that is why we are praying. Otherwise we are discouraged. But Paul is saying, even when results are not positive, I'm happy. And even when things are not doing good, I'm happy. Because I know that Lord does only good for me. We may not know it today, but one day we will know. And we know that God is sovereign, nothing we can do about that. God is sovereign, He controls my life. Without His permission and without His will, nothing happens. He plans so many things. But without the signature of God, nothing is going to happen.
Yes.
That is why he's saying, prayer with thanksgiving can bring. See, our possessiveness to the material things can bring us a lot of worry. That's what happening to America. I once read that there are 300 million people depressed in the world out of 8 billion. Okay, maybe most of them are in America. You talk about the American dream, it happens for many people, but it doesn't happen for many people. Then what happens? You are worried, you are depressed. So a great man whom I adore, Dr. David Livingstone, he said like this, I will place no value on anything other except in relation to the kingdom of God. I will place no value on anything except in relation to the kingdom of God. We came empty-handed. We go empty-handed, but we always take our deeds, what we have done, to heaven. We are not going with nothing. We say that we go empty-handed. That is true. We came empty-handed. We go empty-handed. What do we take? We take the good deeds. Are we trying to do some good deeds? Not for salvation. So to be strong, worry less and less, but more prayers. So Hudson Taylor said like this, leave everything in the hands of God, then there is nothing left to worry. Did you get that? Leave everything in the hands of God, then there is nothing left to worry. Our job, our careers, our money, our spouse, our family, our kids, our education, our wealth, whatever it is you can name. Leave everything in the hands of God, then there is nothing left to worry. Then there is a patient went to a doctor and said, Doctor, I am worrying less and less these days. I found a problem, Jesus Christ. You know what the doctor said? If all my nerve patients would only do that, I would become a poor man. That's what. So we can be strong by less worrying. And next one, we can be strong by meditating on godly things. See, listen to this. Our thinking can make us weak. Our thinking can make us strong. That is what Apostle Paul is saying in verse 8, what to think. There are 8 things mentioned. Things that are of good report, things that are noble, things that are pure, things that are so and so. Think about this, meditate on these things. Thinking is a major activity of human mind. See, the thing is, we cannot keep our mind empty. Something has to be there, either bad or good, evil or good, positive or negative, harmful or unharmful. Something must be there. So, Word of God is very clearly says what to think. What to think. So I say that there is no break for thinking, there is no bell for thinking, only exit and entry. We exit sometimes, right? When we drive in the highway, we exit. We are not exiting all the time, after that we end up. So there is no bell for the thinking, there is no break for the thinking. It is a continuous human activity, what to think. And with the word of God, there is an unlimited refill is available. It all depends on how we make use of that. That unlimited refill available through His word. And of course, we cannot do it by our own strength. We can only do it by the strength of God. Amen. That's what Paul said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Meditate on the godly things. Think about the good things, godly things. That will keep up our mind. We don't need to keep up our mind idle. Think about the good thing, positive things, divine things. Give Him worship all the time. If you can sing all the time, you sing. That's a good medicine. And the third thing, because of time, 2 minutes. It says that, and to be strong in the Lord, we need to be content. You may be rich or poor, doesn't matter. Whichever way God has called us, be content in that. And especially a country like ours, it's very difficult. And contentment, it doesn't come automatically. We have to train our minds that way. People are buying stuff, so I also need to buy things. New things, new stuff, adding more money back. You think that they are giving you money, but they take your money and use up a portion of it, money back. Add more things, buy more stuff, buy more stuff. I'm not saying that we shouldn't buy any things. But before we buy, make a statement. Do I really need this? Ask 10 times. Do I really need this? Hey, do I really need this? Do I really need this? Oh, do I really need this? Ask 10 times before you buy a thing. Buying spree. It can make you worry. You have to pay back, right? Then something happens with this, you have to take it back. Amazon, how you send it back is very difficult. Joy is buying stuff only through Amazon. And every extra, right? Not only him. But how do you give by something? I'm not against buying Amazon or anything. But it becomes a hassle when you want to send it back, right? But contentment. Somebody said, when I said about you should have added that verse also. Before forgetting, let me add that. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Amen? Are we content? Are we content? Paul said that I know how to be poor and how to be abased. That is why from here, going Malawi and staying there without food, without electricity, whatever be the situation, we are more happy. Place is not making you happy, but your relationship with the Lord. Amen. How you are with Him, that makes you happy. Because you came to America, that's not going to make you happy. Maybe more depressed. Because you have lot of dreams, or others are driving Lamborghini, I have only a Honda Odyssey. If you think that way, you are going to make your life. Let me stop here. See, they shared in others' needs, that is why they were happy. When others are in need, we need to help. We need to share. We shouldn't be selfish. And Macedonian, yet in their poverty, they gave in abundance to God. And look at this Philippians, they gave to Apostle Paul. And that is why they were very strong in the Lord, very happy in the Lord. At least 200 people have asked this question, who is supporting? For us it doesn't matter who is supporting. Apostle Paul's economic policy is found in chapter 4 verse 19. What is that? My God can supply all my needs according to His riches in. That is our economic policy. Amen. If you take it that you don't need to worry like Paul. Maybe it is difficult when we talk about these things. And my God can supply all my needs according to His riches in glory. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So let me just say, this morning I have to say, Joyce, I am telling these words each and every time these days. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And he was saying that, I've been saying that all through my life. I've been saying that all through my life. Where am I standing? Where are we standing? So that's good. No, I've been saying that all through my life. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Let's pray. Father God, we thank you for this day. This is the day that the Lord has given us. We rejoice and glad in it, Lord. Thank you for speaking to our hearts in different ways through Bible study, sharing, and through singing, and also at last through your word, Lord. We thank you that you are our sufficient God, all sufficient God. And as Paul said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Lord, help us to take hold of that verse in each and every day, trying to depend on thee. And as Jesus said to Paul, and my grace is sufficient for thee, my strength is made perfect in weakness. Lord, help us to experience more of your grace each and every day. Thank you for speaking to our hearts. Thank you for giving me the word, Lord. We bless you, we worship you. Send us with your blessing. In Jesus our Lord's precious name we pray. Amen.